to the institution. Please join me in recognizing these individuals for the important life they play in the role of this institution. Trine University Board of Trustees. Thank you. This moment would also not be possible without the commitment and dedication of the university's faculty. At this time, I ask members of the Trine University faculty to rise and please be recognized for their contributions to the university and to the class of 2015. In addition to today's ceremony, this is an important weekend as tomorrow we celebrate Mother's Day, a special day we enjoy each year to celebrate, honor, and express our love to all mothers. Mothers, will you please stand and be recognized and let us be among the first to wish you a very special Happy Mother's Day. As I look around the audience today, I see many other people who have worked hard and who have sacrificed a great deal for you to arrive at this moment. I would ask that all family members of graduates please stand and be recognized. These graduates are grateful for your support you've given them over the past years. We appreciate it too, because without your support and encouragement, this milestone, the graduating class of 2015, the word commencement means a new beginning. You've achieved a significant new beginning. That alone is cause for celebration. The new opportunities that will present themselves because of your new beginning are also cause for celebration. But perhaps the greatest celebration is you have arrived at this moment. For some of you, it has been a bumpy path to travel, obstacles, hurdles, roadblocks, detours, maybe even a U-turn along the way. But you have persevered and now sit at a major new beginning. There is freshness in new beginnings. There is excitement in the air. And I hope and I believe that you hold on to the spirit of this day, that you enjoy your new beginning, and that you will remember this day and this university as you travel your new path. So welcome to the moment. Welcome to Commencement 2015. It gives us great honor at this time to welcome today's commencement speaker, Mr. Regis Philbin. Cultural icon and veteran television personality, Regis has entertained and highlighted audiences for years, first stepping in front of the camera more than 50 years ago, and has since undertaken talk shows, game shows, the literary world, and the music industry. His ambition and dedication define him as an exemplary model for Trine University students and the innumerable others he has reached during his career. A long-running daytime TV favorite, originated in the 1983 debut of Mr. Philbin's The Morning Show. The program became live with Regis and Kathy Lee in 1985, and then entered into a new era with Live with Regis and Kelly in 2001. Regis stepped away from Live in 2011 to pursue new adventures in the entertainment world, which included breaking his own Guinness World Record for the most hours on camera in U.S. television for totaling over 17,000 hours during his career. Known for hosting the popular Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, America's Got Talent, and $1 Million Password, Regis also has a passion for music. His albums, released by Hollywood Records, consist of timeless classics, duets, Hollywood tunes or holiday tunes, and a collection of some of the greatest songs in American pop. Other outstanding achievements for Regis include Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences at the 2008 Daytime Emmy Awards, co-winner with Kelly Ripa at the 2011 Daytime Entertainment Emmy Awards for Outstanding Talk Show Host, a Broadcasting and Cable Lifetime Achievement Award in 2001, and induction into the National Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 2008. Regis and his wife, Joy, live in Manhattan and Connecticut and have two grown daughters, Joanna and Jennifer. A native of New York City, Regis is a graduate of the University of Notre Dame and received an honorary doctorate of law for his contributions to Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored and pleased to welcome Regis Philbin as Trine University's 2015 Commencement Speaker. Regis.
Well, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me. I came in here yesterday and I've been so impressed with this university and all the people. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. And congratulations on your graduation. This is a big day in your lives, an important day. Things are about to change for you. Some of you may have a job lined up already, and some of us may have yet to find that job. And some may not even know what they want. And that was my problem at that point in my career. But let me tell you a little bit, just a little bit about my life and the mistakes I made. When I was 8 years old, I began to listen to the radio on WNEW in New York City. That's the #1 station there. Of course, there was no television in those days. Every night at 9:30, they would play some Bing Crosby songs. And some of you may not even know who Bing Crosby is. But he was the one who led all of the singers. Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Dean Martin, Tony Bennett. I've talked to all of them, and all of them said the same thing. It was Crosby who got them started. Anyway, I would listen to him every night at 9:30, and he had a fabulous voice, and I just loved the sound of his voice and the songs he was singing. And so I learned all of the Crosby songs, and I loved them. And I dreamed at 10 years old that one day I could do them too. Well, anyway, I went on to Notre Dame in 1949. My father came back from World War II. He was a Marine. Another war, he said, is in the making, and that I should join the ROTC on campus, which I did. So in 1953, when I graduated, there was another war, the Korean War, just like he said. And that's where I went out to the Pacific. After a couple of years, the war came to an end. I returned to my base in Coronado, across the bay from San Diego. And in this BOQ, Bachelor Officers Quarters, I left two Marine major friends, two guys who had been up through the ranks, who was lieutenants, had been killed on Guadalcanal, and the oldest son became the next lieutenant. So they fought through 2 wars and became my friends, and when it was time for me to leave, they came out one by one to say goodbye. The second Marine, Major Keigel Flake was his name, he's from Ohio. A very tough guy, very, very tough. When he asked a question, he wanted a fast and full answer. And he said to me, well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And I said, well, I see some changes in television now, Major, but I don't know that what I could do for television. He said, don't you know, you can have anything you want in this life, you've only got to want it bad enough. Now, do you want it? I said, Major, I want it, but I don't know what I can offer them. I have no experience at all. He came across the room, put his face right in front of mine, and said out loud, I said, do you want it? He was getting angry. So I clicked my heels, gave him a salute, and said, yes, sir, I want it. And that was the first time I could say that, you know, in my 20s. I hope you all have said what you want and are living for it right now, because it really helps. Well, he said, go up, get in your car, drive up to Hollywood right now and make it happen. And that's what I did. And I got a job at a TV station, carrying furniture around the stage. You think that's funny, huh? We're just carrying furniture. Well, that's what I did for about 1.5 years. I lived in the prop house there. I would pack up and return films to all the studios like Fox and Warner Brothers and Paramount and the rest of them. It's too long a story to tell you, but I did get started because Major Flake made me sing it. About a month after working in the prop house, I thought it'd be funny if I reviewed some of the stations, some of the shows that the station ran that day. Late at night, I would hang up a report on some of the shows we had on the air. And I thought my reports were going to be kind of funny, but then I read them and they became a little caustic, and I was trying to be funny. The general manager, Al Flanagan, another former Marine, found out about it, called me into his office, chewed me up, chewed me out, finished by saying, "But you can't write. So go to work in the newsroom," and that was the beginning of it from there. The next stop was San Diego, a radio position in a car that would travel around from 6 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And every hour on the hour, I would have something else to tell them about what was happening in San Diego. The only problem was nothing much was happening in San Diego. But I would stop at the police station to see what they were doing. San Diego really was, it's a beautiful city, but quite quiet in those days. So one of the two TV stations then called me and offered me a job working in the newsroom. The next year, the other station called me for a double newscast for 6 at 11 p.m. But by that time, I thought, gee, I wanted to do a Saturday night show following the late news. And they said, just come over here, you can do that. So that's how that started. The show became a hit, and in 3 years, I was back to Hollywood, where I got a call from Joey Bishop, who was going to work at ABC against Johnny Carson on NBC, and I would be his head man. So you can see how you can go from job to job, and maybe city to city. It all depends on what you want. Don't be afraid that it's not going to work for you. You're going to make it happen. There's going to be lots of things along the way that you're not expecting, but will come to you. And if it's what you want, go for it. Let me tell you a little more about Bishop. Joey and I took a walk every day before the show up at Vine Street to Hollywood Boulevard, back. I would do most of the talking because he didn't talk. One day I had nothing to talk about. And for the fun of it, I said, "Joey, what did you want to be when you were a kid?" And he told me, when I was 10 years old, I would stand on the street corners of Philadelphia and tell jokes. And people would laugh and fall down, and I wanted to be a comedian. And he became a pretty good comedian, good enough to hang around with the whole Sinatra gang. Then, after a few minutes, he asked me, "What about you? What did you want?" And I told him I had never mentioned this to anyone in my life. But when I was 10 years old, I would listen to Bing Crosby on the radio, and I wanted to be him. 3 months later, Bing Crosby was a guest on our show. I was very excited. Bishop wanted him to sing, and so he said, "Bing, see this kid, Regis? He loves you. He thinks you're great. Please, Bing, sing a song to him." No problem for Crosby. He just turned, looked at me and sang "Turalura Lura," a song he sang as a priest in a hit show called "Going My Way," for which he won the Academy Award. He just turned and sang, and I was thrilled. And then Joey decided to have some fun, and he said, "Bing, Regis knows all your songs. Regis, sing one of Bing's songs to him." It had been about 25 years since I used to sing all of those Crosby songs. I said to myself, I can't believe this. I haven't sung these songs in years. But I turned to Bing, and one of the songs I sang to myself all my life came out. It was a song called "Pennies from Heaven." It was a song he sang during the Depression here in America to cheer up the people. I sang it, Crosby joined in, and it was something that I never forgot. The next day, I got a telegram from Mercury Records in Chicago. "Would you like to do an album of Bing Crosby songs?" Now all this is happening to me 25 years after I listened to Bing and wanted to be him. It was kind of like almost too late for me to make this move. That's why you've got to think about it now, when you're young and you can move around. So it was almost, I showed Bishop the telegram, and he said, someone's playing a joke on you. I think he was a little mad that I got this telegram. And he ripped it up. The next day, the guy from Chicago called and said, so what's it going to be, yes or no? I said, yes, yeah, I'll try it, sure. And that's how it happened. I didn't seek it. I never thought about it. But if you want something, all of you remember, you must let people know. And sometimes luck can bring us what it is you want to do. Now, something else happened on that show. A lot of cities around the country in the late 60s and early 70s were having fights, crises, right out in the streets. It was a tough time. Bishop was angry. He said to me, go into the audience, find a young person, and ask them what they want to be, what they want to do for themselves and for this country. So I walked into the audience with a microphone, and there was a young man just sitting in the front row. I went up to him, he stood up. I asked him what he wanted to be and how he could help our country. And the young guy just looked at me and could not answer. And it reminded me of myself at his age, when I could never tell anybody what I wanted to do, because I thought I couldn't do it, and they'd only laugh at me. He was a nice kid, and I really liked him a lot. I said, just relax. Tell me what it is you want to do. What is it? What's on your mind? And how you're going to do it? He still couldn't answer me. And I knew there was something he wanted to tell me, but time was running out. This is a live show. I had to leave him. I thanked him a lot. I wished him good luck. And I moved on to another person. But in my mind, I never forgot the look on his face, because that was me. And it shouldn't be any of you. So you can see that these things could happen to you. If it does, be sure you tell everybody what it is you're going for, what you want. Don't clam up. Don't be afraid to tell them. Let's talk about it. Fate will somehow throw certain, maybe even unlikely characters you even weren't thinking about into your life. It's usually for reasons much larger than you know at the time. Whoever it is, whatever they want, be open to them. Give them a chance. Think about it, and give yourself time to think over what they're telling you. And don't be afraid to let people know what it is you want to do with your life. Don't be hesitant, be confident. Just make sure you know what you absolutely cannot or do not want to do. But don't be afraid to admit that. It doesn't mean you can't go ahead and take a chance on something different, even something surprising at work. Believe me, if it's good, attention will be paid. Eventually, maybe not right away, but sometime, someday, someone will notice what you're doing and how well you're doing it, and it will be to your benefit. That's how you move up. That's how you succeed in whatever business you choose. And never stop saying thank you to the people who have made the biggest difference in your life. They were very important to you. The world you know now in your youth is only a tiny sliver of the world out there that's waiting for you. But it's there for the taking when you are ready. And you are ready now. Even after a bad mistake, if you make one, or a disappointment, the true test is how you face the next day. You get up, you show up, and I promise you, you will soon cheer up. So don't let a setback early on overcome you or stop you or change you. Learn something from it and use it. And why not this? Make perfection your goal. It will always bring you that much closer to truly achieving it. Keep thinking about it. You're going to succeed. You're going to make it. Never think it's more than you can do. The most talented people you meet or see always make their work look so much easier than it really is. And you can do that too. See, these are things that I didn't know, didn't do, just should have. But I want to go back now to the young man I was telling you about. He stood there, couldn't tell me what he wanted to do with the rest of his his life. I would never forget it because he reminded me so much of myself, thinking he wouldn't be good enough for the job, whatever it was. Wondering if he could do what he had in his mind. He simply couldn't tell me. I think he was afraid that he couldn't do it, and that's why he felt that way. Now, about 25 years later, I was working in New York City at ABC on the morning show. I went around the country. I went to see a movie screening in New York that night. I enjoyed the movie tremendously. Someone came down the aisle and said, "Regis, somebody would like to see you up on stage." This is after the movie was over. Whoever it was, he was already surrounded by people. I couldn't see who it was, I couldn't see him. I waited for a while and then thought, you know, he's probably going to want to leave almost immediately, so I began to walk away. And I had gotten a few feet away from the crowd surrounding him when I heard someone say, "Regis, just a minute." I stopped. He came up to me and said, "You probably don't remember me, but one night years ago, you came into the Joey Bishop Show audience to ask young people what they wanted to do with their lives. You came to me, and I couldn't tell you what I wanted. Now, every time I see you on TV, it comes back to haunt me. I get angry with myself for not answering you." You know, I told him, I said, I remember the whole thing very well because I could never tell anyone what I wanted to do either. I didn't forget him that night because I knew what he was thinking as we stood there looking at each other. Now, I told him he had become a giant in his business. And thank God for us, he pursued it. And his name is Steven Spielberg. See how important he has become. So in time, you're going to meet people who will inspire you. If you're lucky to know them, they'll become a part of your life. I'm sure you've already met Lou Holtz, who is now a part of this university. I used to go back to Notre Dame just to hear Lou talk to his team before a game. He's not only wise about football, but about everything else that life will throw at you. You can give him your toughest personal problem, one so difficult you can't figure it out, one so difficult you don't even know what the real answer is. And Lou will listen to you, analyze what you're telling him, dissect it, and give you the most effective solution. He will tell you what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. He is one of those people that you're lucky enough to meet who will inspire you. Like those two Marines I met, and the one who made me tell him and myself what I wanted to do, not what I thought I couldn't do. There will be more people like Lou around wherever you go. These are the people who will help you advance. So this is the beginning of it for you. You've spent at least 16 years of your lives in school, and now you're ready to get out there and make a success of your life. It helps to know if you know what you want. Don't be afraid to look at everything else. Something may change your mind. Something may be better. Let people see what you can do and let them know what you want to do. Now you are ready to go out there and make a success of your life. It's all ahead of you. It's all waiting for you. Go get it.
Thank you so much, Regis. Beautiful message. Trine University follows the long-established academic practice of recognizing through the granting of honorary degrees those distinguished individuals who have realized significant achievements in their respective fields or who have made substantial contributions to the work of the university. We have the privilege this morning of recognizing one of those such standing individuals today, Regis Philbin. I ask Dr. John Shannon, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Mr. Regis Philbin, please come forward and join me at the podium as we award Regis Francis Philbin the Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. By virtue of the state of Indiana and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University, by direction of the trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I am pleased to confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto, and in testimony whereof we invest you with this hood, and I present you with this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Philbin. We now proceed to the main order of business of this commencement, the awarding of degrees. Students who have completed their degree requirements, along with those who are expected to complete the requirements by the end of the fall semester, will be recognized. Dr. Shannon will present the candidates from each of the schools of Trine University.
Will all the faculty of Trine University please rise and remain standing for the presentation of the candidates? Will the candidates who have completed or will soon complete the requirements to receive degrees from the following schools please rise and remain standing? Graduate Studies. The Allen School of Engineering and Technology. The Kettner School of Business. The Franks School of Education. The Janet School of Arts and Sciences. The School of Health Sciences. The School of Professional Studies. Let's give a round of applause.
We now proceed to the main order of business of this commencement, the awarding of degrees. Students who have completed their degree requirements, along with those who are expected to complete the requirements by the end of the fall semester, will be recognized. Dr. Shannon will present the candidates from each of the schools of Trine University.
Will all the faculty of Trine University please rise and remain standing for the presentation of the candidates? Will the candidates who have completed or will soon complete the requirements to receive degrees from the following schools please rise and remain standing? Graduate Studies. The Allen School of Engineering and Technology. The Kettner School of Business. The Franks School of Education. The Janet School of Arts and Sciences. The School of Health Sciences. The School of Professional Studies. Let's give a round of applause. Faculty, you may be seated. Students remain standing. President Brooks, these candidates are qualified or are expected to qualify by the end of the fall semester to receive the degrees as indicated in the commencement program. On behalf of the faculty, I am pleased to present them to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shannon. Will the candidates please remain standing? By virtue of the laws of the state of Indiana and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Trine University, and by direction of the Board of Trustees upon the recommendation of the faculty, I am pleased to confer upon you those who have completed their degree requirements for the appropriate associate, bachelor's, or master's degree as listed in the commencement program, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. In testimony thereof, you will receive the diploma of Trine University. For those of you who have yet to complete their programs of study, I shall be pleased to confer upon you the appropriate degree from the university when all degree requirements have been satisfied. Please be seated. Former communication professor Mr. Mike McNamara will read the names of the graduates from each of the 7 schools. Professor McNamara.
Thanks, Dr. Brooks. Will the graduates and candidates from the Trine University Graduate Program please come forward for the presentation of their diplomas? Drs. Brooks, Shannon, and James will greet the members of the class of 2014 and 2015. Dr. Brooks, while they're making their way to the stage, I know we recognize, and rightfully so, all the moms in attendance and the families. And only since Regis brought it up, I'd also like to have maybe the veterans stand today and thank him as a veteran salute for those sacrifices that they made that for us all being here, including Regis Preston. Leading the graduates from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering is Dr. Sean Carroll for the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering. Anders Christian Douglas. Richard DeWitt Hammond III, cum laude. Skylar Robert Cook. Dustin Burns. Nicholas Daniel Easley, cum laude. William Allen Leisner, magna cum laude. Will the audience please join me in congratulating the graduates?
With today's ceremony, those of you who have received Trine University degrees become members of the Alumni Association of the university. I ask Mr. Rick Cooper, President of the Trine University Alumni Association, to induct the new graduates. Representing the class of 2015 is Aaron Lewis, winner of the Robert P. Stewart Award as the outstanding graduate of this year's class. Will those of you who have received degrees today please rise and remain standing throughout the induction.
Inscribed on this scroll is the graduating class of 2015. I request that the name of each member of this class be formally added to the roll of alumni of Trine University. As new graduates, we pledge our allegiance to our alma mater and ask that the alumni body direct henceforth our service to the university.
Members of the class of 2015, we welcome you to the Alumni Association and wish you well in the years ahead. You will be the university's representatives in many disciplines and many places throughout the world. And we trust that your work will reflect upon and bring greater strength to our university. The strength of the university and the Alumni Association depends upon the strength of each and every one of you. The alumni join you, your pledge of support for the university, committed to greater service to mankind. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Good morning, friends and family, invested Trine University faculty, staff, and administration. And last but not least, the graduating class of 2015. When I had learned that I had been chosen to speak on behalf of the graduating class, I was very honored. It's a daunting task being asked to speak on behalf of such an accomplished group. Now, I cannot stand here today and recount just how momentous these past 4 years have been to each and every one of us, but I can stand here today and say that there was something special in Trine University that attracted us all. Only 4 short years ago, we made a big decision. We decided to enroll here at Trine University and better prepare ourselves for a future not yet decided. Each of us arrived with our own hopes, dreams, and challenges to overcome. Many of us wondering if we would ever reach this day, some of us knowing we would, and others wishing our time here would last forever. Throughout these past 4 years, we have made lifelong friends, lifelong memories, and have grown into the driven adults that will today take our place in society. At this time, I would like us to think of all those people that helped make this moment possible. Those friends who stayed up those countless hours to help us study for that final exam or finish that daunting essay. Our families, near and far, who gave us the support to keep striving for this day. And our professors, who saw us for our strengths and gave us the encouragement to embrace them. On behalf of the 2015 graduating class, we say thank you for your support, your encouragement, and dedication to us as students and as people. Class of 2015, congratulations. One big decision 4 years ago and we've made it. We are sitting here together, already received our diplomas and ready to embark on the path of our new life. At this point, we cannot rest on our laurels as successful university graduates, but instead, we must now move forward in our lives, becoming productive, responsible, and caring members of our communities. Likewise, I have chosen for this speech not to reminisce with you upon our friendships made and our time spent here at Trine University, but rather to leave you with what I will hope you'll refer to as words of wisdom taken from Nelson Mandela. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Let me repeat, there is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life less than the one you are capable of living. This quote best embraces what I wish to leave you with today. The idea that life should be lived with passion, not fear, with excellence, not mediocrity, with inspiration, not stagnation. As you begin your first steps down the path of the rest of your life, choose your path without fear. Although I am uncertain of the challenges that we all may someday face, I'm certain that we will all face challenges, and there will always be that safe choice. But I'm also certain that there will be another choice. There will be a choice that asks us to stretch our limits and discover a life that we never knew possible. Have the courage to take this choice. It may be a small step at first, but take it. My hope is that as a class we will not accept the life that we are given, but we will challenge it, and we will create and shape the life that we truly desire to live. We have already chosen to play big the moment we set foot on Trine's campus. My hope is that we will continue to be unsatisfied with a life that is less than the one we are capable of living, but will live without fear of failure and with a zest for life as we strive to fulfill our dreams. It is my hope that the class of 2015 will choose to play big in life and will instill this aspiration in all who meet us. Congratulations, class of 2015. Play big.
Wasn't she wonderful? To the newest members of the Trine University Alumni Association, I offer to you our congratulations and best wishes. After today, you will no longer be Trine students. The rest of your lives, you'll be one of more than 24,000 distinguished men and women that we refer to as Trine alumni, whose many achievements and contributions will speak for themselves and their experiences at this university. As you leave here today, you leave here as a different individual. You've achieved one set of goals, and now it's time to reach for another set. Remember, your degree is not an end, but rather a beginning, a catalyst for the inception of what you will become. And what will you become is dependent upon the degree that you put into the mix. Your alma mater has given you the seeds of knowledge and training. You must nurture them,
and allow them to grow and be fed by experience, motivation, thoughtful decision making. You're now faced with the awesome responsibility of making the choices which will determine the person you are to become. Make those choices wisely. Continue to listen to the counsel of those whose lives illustrate harmony and success with humanity and the world around them. Conversely, do not be afraid to stand alone. Believe in what you have cultivated in yourself, your ideals, your standards, and your innate feelings of right and wrong, good and bad. Take charge of yourself and build your own successes. You need not wait for that to happen, for someone else to do that for you. It won't happen. Your family and friends have joined you here today because they have given much of themselves to see you reach this pinnacle in your life. Remember them and then strive to do the same for others as you move into the future. It's a great privilege to me to be one of the first to congratulate you on receiving your degree. I wish you well, and we offer you the hand of hospitality on behalf of the entire campus community. You can come home again, and we shall steadfastly stand behind you as you seek your way in the world, just as you have during the duration of your studies here at Trine University. Tomorrow, you'll enter the so-called real world, pursuing employment or graduate studies, but today marks a time for you to indulge your dreams. The great African-American abolitionist and humanitarian Harriet Tubman, who escaped from slavery to serve the Union during the Civil War, reminds us, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, change the world. Immediately following today's ceremony, a reception for all graduates and their families will be held in Hershey Hall. We invite you to join us. We conclude today's ceremony with the benediction, followed by the recessional. We also ask that you please stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the recessional. Will you please rise for the benediction?
Please join me in prayer. God, it has been a great morning, and we thank you for blessing us with your presence during this commencement ceremony. Oh Lord, I call out to you and ask that you'd show these graduates your ways as they make perfection their goal. We pray that you would go before them and you'd provide for their greatest needs and passions. Lord, we know that you're able to do immeasurably more than we ask and imagine. And so I pray in the name of Jesus.
Yes, you are. No. Yes, you are. It's nice outside. Let's try and meet up.